What's up, everybody? JJ Jerez, Jesse Montano here, following morning skate before the Avs take on the Blues, looking to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss to the Seattle Kraken. First and foremost, Jesse, before I ask you any questions, we got an update on Arturi Lekkonen's status. Let's go to Jared Bednar here for that.
Not great.
What's the, update there?
Well, we're still gathering information, but he's going to miss weeks. Can't give you a timeline yet.
So yeah, not good news on the horizon for Arturi Lekkonen. Jesse, what do you think the Avs got to do to replace him, and your just overall thoughts on Arturi Lekkonen missing that much time?
Yeah, so I talked about it after the game the other night, that really in a situation like that with the kind of collision that he had with the boards, really the number one concern does need to be his health. That is a scary collision. Jared Bednar said it wasn't a head injury, so that probably tells me something maybe neck related. So again, it's really scary. Good to hear that he's, awake, alert, doing well on that front. But yeah, it's going to be weeks. I found it interesting. Jared Bednar was asked, how do you replace Arturi Lekkonen? And he said straight up, you don't. You can't replace him. So this is one of those moments. We've seen the Avs do it in years past. Guys got to elevate their game. He's not going to be in the lineup. Arturi Lekkonen's become a big part of this top six. There's no one you're going to insert into the lineup that's going to replicate what he brings. I'm looking at guys like Jonathan Drouin, Tomas Tatar, Ryan Johansson, and honestly, even a guy like Riley Tufte who gets the call up again. All four of those guys are guys that, in my eyes, need to elevate their game and kind of by committee replace what you're going to be missing with Lekkonen.
Yeah, and talking with some of the players, it sounds like Arturi Lekkonen is in good spirits. So it's just about healing and getting him back to where he needs to be back on the ice. With that, we also heard Andrew Cogliano is going to be missing tonight's matchup. Sounds like he had an ugly hit against the Seattle Kraken. Thoughts on Cogliano missing one here?
Yeah, Jared said that they're hoping it's day-to-day. Andrew Cogliano, it kind of became a running joke last year. Like, you cannot keep that guy from coming back into a game, so you can never really judge how injured he is or is not based on if he comes back. Hoping, if you're the Avs, you're hoping that it's just day-to-day. You give him the night off tonight. That gives him a nice break in between his last game and the next game on Monday, to kind of recover, feel better. He's someone that I don't think that fourth line has been as effective to start this season. It's really kind of been more of that third line with O'Connor, Wood, and Colton. So take a couple games here, for Andrew Cogliano, take a couple days rather, kind of recover, reset, come back in and find a way to get that fourth line gelling again, because that depth is going to be key for the Avs moving forward this whole year.
Looking back at the last time the Avalanche played the St. Louis Blues, just last week, that was Ivan Prosvetov's first game in an Avalanche sweater. Well, tonight we're going to be having Alexander Georgiev back in net. I think that means great things for the Avalanche. Not that Ivan Prosvetov had a bad game against Seattle, but I don't think he had a good game either. I think it was right in between. So I think a confident and rested Alexander Georgiev might be exactly what the Avalanche need to get this back on track again.
Yeah. Having those days off, that is big. Again, not on the mental side. We're early in this season. I don't really think that is much of an issue for these guys yet. But that mental fatigue, like JJ, being a goaltender is so much between the ears and the mental side of the game. Kind of being able to rest, reset. Let me ask you, because there was kind of the question that came up to Jared of, do you let Georgiev work through it, or is it better to give him the days off? From your perspective, he had a couple rough games there back-to-back. Do you think it was good for him to get those days off, or would you have rather seen him try to play through it in that game against Seattle?
Well, I mean, he's such a hard practicer that I think he kind of works out those kinks during a morning skate, during a practice. So I'm perfectly fine giving him a night's rest from game action, because you're right. Game action, not only is it hard on you physically, your wheels are spinning the entire game and really tough on you mentally too. So I'm with the break. Let him rest not only physically but mentally as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. I think they're handling it right. And I think that game last week against the Blues gave the Avs that, okay, we can feel good putting Ivan Prosvetov in the net. He's not a number one. He's not going to turn into Andrei Vasilevsky back there, but he's going to give us a chance to win games, and that's all we're asking for. So I think we're already starting to see them being a little bit more comfortable giving Georgiev these nights off, and I think that's going to ultimately be positive things for the Avs.
Tonight's an opportunity to make this homestand either a success or a bit underwhelming, right? But nonetheless, it's the last game of the homestand before the Avalanche do head back out on the road. What are your thoughts towards the Avalanche getting one last one in at home here?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Bo and Byram talked to us about the fact that it's been nice to be in their own beds for a week. It's been a weird schedule in terms of travel, not necessarily days that you're playing, but a weird travel schedule to start the season here. I think it's been nice for them to reset. I think they need to get a win here tonight to really feel good, because, to your point, you get a week at home, you get to sleep in your bed all week. To come out of this 1-2, I just think would put a sour taste in everyone's mouth. So I do think there is a little bit of added importance. and if they don't win, the season's not over, right? But you want to be able to get a win here, be like, okay, we got to be at home for a week, got to be with our families, be at our own houses, and we played some good hockey, came out, with a winning record. So, I don't think it's a must win or anything like that tonight, but for team morale, I think you'd like to see them get a win here.
Yeah, St. Louis, not exactly a bottom feeder, but not somebody to just look past either. So that being said, what do you expect to see out of the Avalanche? What kind of tactics do you think they're going to bring to the table to really try to get a W here?
St. Louis tries to play the Avs physical, and the Avs are usually okay doing that right back. And the Avs have the higher-end talent, the higher-end speed, higher-end skill. Like, you and I talked about it on the podcast yesterday, which is available on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. On paper, this is a team that the Avs are just outright better than. I'm expecting them. I think they're pissed off from the other night. Like, you could even still feel it a little bit in the locker room this morning that they are angry. I think you're going to see an angry Avs team here tonight, and I think they're going to be giving St. Louis everything they've got to handle. If they come out flat, again, it's still too early in the season for me to be like, oh, that would be concerning. But you wouldn't love that, right? You want to see that fire. You want to see that pushback. And we talked so much yesterday on the pod about leadership. This is a leadership game to me. Come out. The leaders on this team need to have everyone ready to go, and they need to jump on this team early. You want to see them get going right out of the gates. I think that's kind of the mood that they're in, and I want to see if that translates to the ice.
Yeah, I mean, that was really important when the Avs played the Blues last time. They left that first period up 2-0, so kind of put that game home early and just were able to, keep the Blues at bay from there. Not to mention Nathan MacKinnon has been a part of 5 of the last Avalanche 9 goals. Yep. So along with your leadership, I think we're going to see more of Nathan MacKinnon, and he's going to be shooting the puck, getting points. We'll see what happens with him, but expect him to be Nathan MacKinnon-esque.
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, well, that'll do it for Morning Skate here for Guerilla Sports. For Jesse, I'm JJ. We'll be back after the game.